Hey everyone, welcome to episode 35.5. of Otome Shimai.
What?
Yeah.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Vika.
And we are sisters who play Otome games.
Okay, 35.5, I will explain. 35.5 means we are doing a Otome Shimai short.
Otome Shimai short?
That's right, an Otome Shimai short.
Is that a thing we do now?
I mean, it is now because we have decided to do it. Today we are talking about Crunchyroll Expo 2022. We went this year in San Jose, and we are just going to talk about our experience.
Oh, that makes sense. We're not talking about any video games.
No, we're not talking about any
We're
Otome
talking
games
about
at all.
a thing that we did.
Yeah, we are talking about a thing that we did.
And that's why it's going to be short?
Yeah, because, we don't have that much to talk about.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how long this goes. But first, who are you doing this week?
I am trying very, very hard to get through Olympia Soiree.
Uh-huh.
And I'm on Tokisada's route.
Isn't that the second route?
Yes.
There are 6 of them.
Yes.
That's taking you some time.
Yes.
That's okay.
There's a lot of kanji that I don't know in this game.
Yes.
I have to stop and look at a dictionary like every 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening?
There's a lot of history, there's a lot of lore, there's a lot of new stuff because it's a made-up fantasy island that you live on.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, what about you?
I am actually finishing Olympia Soiree. I'm doing Akaza's route, and you have to unlock Akaza's route. You can't just do him. You have to wait to do him. You have to do everybody else before you do him.
It's really rare for, me to be behind on a game, and you to be ahead of me.
True. It is. That's actually true, yeah.
Has this ever happened before?
No. I'm gonna say the answer to that is no.
I'm being
You
a
usually play...
disappointment.
You're not being a disappointment.
I'm a disappointment.
Why are you saying that, sister?
I'm a disappointment.
You are not a
to
disappointment.
You and to our listeners.
Oh my god, that is so not true. Listeners, please give my sister some love. Send her some good vibes. She needs it. Yes.
Am I deserving of love?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Just because you're not playing a game before me and finishing it before I even started, yes.
Okay.
Now that we're done talking about who we did this week, we can actually talk about our main topic.
Crunchyroll Expo 2022, San Jose.
That's right. So, what is Crunchyroll Expo 2022?
It's an anime convention run by the anime streaming service that's currently eating all of the other anime streaming services.
That's right. Crunchyroll is basically trying to take over the market. But they did put together a fun little event for people in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. And we went.
We did go. Why did we go?
Oh, well, we went because we wanted to go to a con this year.
And it's close by.
And it's close by.
We live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it took place in the San Francisco Bay Area, so why not?
Exactly. We only went one day. The event did span 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we only decided to go on a Sunday because...
Those were the tickets that were still left on sale by the time we realized we were able to go, and we'll talk more about that later.
Exactly. So we got a general admission ticket for Sunday. We met up with some friends, which was really, really fun. And we just kind of moseyed and looked around to see what was up there.
Crunchyroll Expo was marketing themselves as being the hypest event in anime.
Do you think it was the hypest event in anime?
I don't know what hype is. I am too old for that.
Well, I am the same age as you, and I know what hype is, and I will say that it was just okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
We had a lot of fun, though.
We did.
We matchy-matchied. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, I actually have a story about us matchy-matchy.
Okay. You want to tell your story?
I'll tell my story. So a while back, Vika was like, hey, Vicky, I think that we should make Otome Shimai shirts for us to wear someday. Mm-hmm. And you described to me, what you wanted. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And so I went and I did the design because I'm the person who does all of the first drafts of the designs. Mm-hmm. And I spent a really long time on this because we don't have a shirt, and so it was from scratch, and I did everything that you said you wanted me to do. Mm-hmm. I spent 3 days on it, and I sent it to you, and you said, yes, but different. That was the feedback that I got about the shirt. Yes, but different. So, You know what you got for our shirts?
Yeah.
On the front, it has our beautiful Otome Shimai logo.
Uh-huh.
And on the back, it says, yes, but different. Because apparently that's what you wanted.
I think you did a great job.
Thank
so
you.
yes, now we have 2 perfectly blue and Otome Shimai branded shirts that say yes but different on the back because I do not know how to give constructive feedback to my
No,
sister.
you do not. And this is a running theme.
Well, either way, they were great. I love them, regardless of the yes but different on the back. We were really cute. We took some photos together. We were matchy-matchy. I even decided to wear a cute little pink wig.
Yes, you did.
And
It was
I never
so
get to
cute.
wear my wigs, and it's so fun because
People thought it was your real hair.
I know. I was shocked. I was like, y'all, it's pink and short, and I'm brown. It'd be really hard to get this color for my real hair.
I don't know. I think you could dye your hair that way. And you look really cute with short hair.
Yeah. That's why I'll only ever have a wig, because I love having long hair. I'm attached to it.
Your hair is so long you can basically sit on it.
Yeah, it is. I need to get a haircut. Anyway, the venue?
The venue was the San Jose McHenry Convention Center.
Yep, right smack dab in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, downtown San Jose, California. You know, a whopping whole 40 minutes away from where we live.
It was very, very easy to get there.
Yeah.
We didn't have to get on a plane, which was nice.
We did not have to get on a plane. We met up with some people who had to get on a plane, and we were very impressed with them. It's an older building. It's not like a super new convention center, so some hallways and all the bathrooms were a little bit on the narrow side.
Yes, and that is important for reasons we shall explain later.
Yes.
Should we talk about what was there?
Yeah, what was there?
Okay, so I want to talk about the arcade,
Oh, yeah.
first and foremost.
You definitely want to talk
because
about the arcade.
I freaking love the arcade. And the reason why I love the arcade is because they have Japanese rhythm games.
It was so great. She was so cute, you guys. Vika loves rhythm games.
I do.
And so whenever she goes to Japan, she always wants to go to the arcade. She always wants to go to round 1 in Japan and just play all of the rhythm games.
I do. There's this one rhythm game, I can never remember the name of it, but it's the one where it's a gigantic circle and the whole screen is like the circle and then you follow it with your hand. It's really, really cool.
Oh, yeah, you tap and you swipe.
Yeah, you tap and you swipe and you dance. Well, I dance. But it's really, really fun. And also, they have a lot of Vocaloid stuff. I love Vocaloid stuff. Like I said before, I think in, an older episode, or actually a more recent episode we did, I'm playing Project Sekai, the colorful stage Miku game. It's a rhythm game on your mobile phone. And they had songs from that game, and I was really excited to play it. So
She would have stayed there for a very, very, very long time if we had more time.
Yes, we did not have time to stay there all day. No. So we left, and by the arcade was actually the manga library.
Yeah, the manga library doubled as their quiet room, and it was really interesting because they did a really good job of making sure that it stayed the quiet room even when it got busy, because it did get very crowded later on, but we poked our heads in a couple of times and it was still quiet.
Yeah, it was really cute because they had low lighting, and they had bookshelves with manga along the walls.
Yeah.
Not tons of variety, a couple of bookshelves, but they had all these really cute little cushions on the ground.
Yeah, they
that
had
people would
beanbag
beanbag chairs that you could lay on and sit on and read manga. Or I even saw some people napping on them, which I thought was really great. It's wow, this is perfect. So yeah, it was really nice. It was a small space. I wish it had been bigger, because I definitely would have gone in there to sit if it had more space.
Yeah, there wasn't any room for us.
There just wasn't room for us. And especially with my sister being in a wheelchair, it was difficult for us to
I was going to run people over.
maneuver. Yeah, in such a small space. But overall, it was pretty nice there. So those are the side areas. Let's talk about the main hall.
Yeah, the main hall was big.
Yeah, it was basically just a gigantic room. They didn't even have separate rooms for anything. Actually, the separate rooms were for other events. But in the main hall, they had all of the merch. And they had all of the artist stuff.
They had the food.
And they had the food. Let's not forget the food. Well, we can talk about the food later, but let's talk about the artist stuff.
Yeah, that's where we spent
my God.
most of our time.
Yes,
going through the artists.
I think we went up and down those narrow little alleys like
At least 3 times.
Yeah, at least 3 times. Because I feel like every time we went through, I missed something.
Yeah.
And then we'd go through again, and I'd be like, oh, I found this thing that I didn't see before. It was so great. So, yeah, there were pins, posters, postcards, and a plethora of other goods from amazing artists.
Yes. It was really funny because when we originally went into the main hall, I was like, okay, Vika, I don't think there's going to be anything Otome related here. So how about every time we see something Otome related, I'll take a shot later. And then we actually saw some Otome related stuff. So we didn't decide to play that game.
Yes. It wasn't much, though.
No.
I'll be honest.
No.
I think out of the many, many rows that we walked on, I think I probably saw 3 artists had some stuff that was Otome related. I will say there was a lot of gay stuff for Jujutsu Kaisen.
There was, and Vika doesn't know what Jujutsu Kaisen is, so she'd be like, who are these people?
Yes, who are these boys? Why are they making out?
It's like, well, that's Jujutsu Kaisen, and they don't actually make out in the anime.
I know. Yeah, fans, they love their fan worlds.
Yeah, it was great.
They had cannons.
We did end up buying quite a few things.
We did. We bought quite a few things. Actually, so from specific artists, I think the most from specific artists, I think the things that I got the most were stickers.
Yes.
Because I'm obsessive over stickers. I put stickers on my laptop. I put it in my Hobonichi. I freaking love stickers.
And you actually found me some Critical Role stickers that were hiding.
Yeah, Critical Role.
You got me stickers of the Mighty Nine.
Yeah.
I didn't even see them.
Yeah, I saw them and I was like, isn't this Critical Role? And you're like, oh my god, yes it is. And I was so proud of myself because I don't even watch Critical Role. I've only ever seen the episodes with you.
Yeah.
But I recognized them and I was really proud of myself.
The artist was really excited that we recognized them too.
Yeah, I feel
she was like, oh yes!
Those you recognize. So we chatted with the artist for a little bit and that was really, really cool.
Yeah. We chatted with quite a few artists.
Yeah. I didn't buy much else. Usually in that area they have a lot of prints, but I didn't buy very many prints this year.
Yeah. I ended up finding a print of Okazaki Kei.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah,
one of the Otome things we did find.
Yeah, there was a booth and it actually turned out that the booth was run by an artist who recognized us from Reddit. So that was pretty cool. And she had all of these prints of Otome stuff that were kind of mixed in with everything else. And so the first thing I saw was an Okazaki Kei print, and then I saw a Saint Germain print from Code Realize.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, and there was a print of Sasazuka Takeru. And so I ended up getting the Okazaki print because I was like, ooh, this is cute. I like it.
Yeah, we didn't find much Otome stuff, but whenever we did find things that were Otome related, we got really excited about it.
Yeah, we had some nice conversations with people.
Yeah, so the artists were fun. I didn't get any pins this year, but you found some pins.
Yeah, I did. I ended up getting 2 pins. One says that I'm a spoonie, and I was really happy to find that one. If you don't know what a spoonie is, I'll put a link below.
Cool.
So because that's a long explanation.
Yeah, she had to explain it to me.
Yeah, and then the other one, I found a pin that said Yandere Lovers, and I got that specifically because I know it's going to piss off one of our friends, and I still haven't sent her that photo. I'm going to have to send that photo to her.
Oh, sister.
Yeah, so I got those 2 pins. I got a shirt that is now my new favorite shirt. Because it says potato on it, and it has a potato that's holding a cup of coffee.
Yeah, if you don't know, my sister is a self-proclaimed potato.
I am the best potato.
She is the best potato of the Idaho kind. No.
I'm a russet.
Of the russet kind.
I am a russet potato.
I'm sorry,
you very
I just
much.
Insulted you. My bad.
I'm so upset. You got a shirt too.
I did too. Well, you're talking about the area with all the merch now.
Yeah.
So the area with all of the artists and their work was kind of separated. And then the rest of the main hall had all of the merch and the figures and the shirts and the stuffed animals and all the stuff you could possibly buy. So we walked around, we found some shirts. I got a really cute one that has a witch on it, and it's hollow, and it has cats. So that's how I feel about myself. I wish I were a witch that just lived with a bunch of cats, and I wish I were made of holographic material. That's not true. I don't wish I was made of holographic material, but the shirt's really cute.
And I'm a potato.
And you're a potato. We got a shirt for your friend that I thought was really funny.
Yeah, I got a shirt for one of my roommates that said pee pee poo poo all over it.
I don't understand the joke, to be honest, but...
It's okay. It's an inside joke with like her and my significant other and our whole group of friends, and I saw it and I was just like, oh my god, I have to buy this.
I don't understand why there would have been a shirt with it on it.
Neither do I, but it was there and she loved it and I was very, very happy.
Oh my goodness. Well, we did get stuff for other people, so including the pee pee poo poo shirt.
Yeah, we got stuff for our significant others.
I got a Dragon Ball Z print from my husband because he loves Dragon Ball Z.
And I got a Demon Slayer print for my boyfriend because he loves Demon Slayer.
Yes, the fireman.
Yes, the fireman.
He's not really a fireman, like in the way you understand what a fireman is. He
is a man of fire.
He is a man of fire. He controls the fire. The very fire.
In addition to all of the merch and artist stuff, they had an area to do meet and greets with a bunch of voice actors.
Yes, that's right. So they had time slots in the day where you could go and line up and like meet and greet the voice actors, which was really, really cool. We did not decide to do that.
No time.
Literally no time.
Yeah.
Like, it was enough for us just walking through the main hall and visiting the arcade and visiting the other spaces, and that took pretty much the whole day.
Yeah. But they did have quite a few voice actors from English dubs of a lot of the popular anime. I know that there were some from Spy X Family, and a lot of people were really excited to see them. Yeah,
no, that's really, really cool. They were really hyping up a lot of their popular series.
Yes.
They had quite a few displays. So they had like a whole like gigantic display of all of the different worlds from Sword Art Online. They also had really cute cosplay stages for Spy X Family. So every time we'd walk by, we'd see people who were cosplaying Spy X Family characters and like setting up to take photos. It was so cute.
Yeah, there was a lot of Yor and Anya. It was I was very happy. It was super, super cute. Adorable. There were a lot of cosplayers. I loved seeing all of the cosplayers.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I love about cons is just people love to dress up as their favorite characters and represent their fandom, and I think that's great.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, so we met a friend.
We did meet a friend
who was cosplaying, and that was a lot of fun. So thank you, friend, for saying hi to us.
We were very appreciative of that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so they had some other big displays. I remember walking by a gigantic chalk artwork of Genshin Impact that was really cool.
Yes, and he was like doing that.
Yeah, he was doing it on the ground earlier in the day when we walked by, and then finally at the end they like lifted it and they hung it on the ceiling. It was gigantic. It was so cool and beautiful.
Yeah.
They also had like big displays from popular brands. So PlayStation had some Horizon Zero Dawn stuff and some Last of Us stuff. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff to see, I think. They also had live stages in some of the other places. So outside of the main hall, you could go down to see like events that were being held at a certain time. And then downstairs from the main hall is on the second floor. Downstairs is where they had all of the live stages, and it was
a lot of HoloLive.
Yeah, and I don't know what HoloLive is, so we didn't do any of that.
Yeah, it's like VTubers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't follow, so
yeah. So we opted to roll around chatting with people instead of seeing any of them.
Well, you were rolling because you were in a wheelchair.
I was rolling, you were pushing.
That's right. I was running, you were rolling. And I was also running you into other people.
That is true. People were also running into me.
That happens when you're in a wheelchair. We did stop in the middle of the day to have a quick break, have a lunch. The food there was what you expect from a con, to be honest.
It was con food. Sodas with free refills, quote-unquote Japanese-style hot dogs.
Which were basically hot dogs with Kewpie on them.
Yeah. Quote-unquote taiyaki.
Which was
made with
basically
Bisquick.
Fish-shaped Bisquick.
Yeah, and general cafeteria food.
It was okay. I mean, it kept us alive for what we needed to do, but...
I kind of wish we had gone, like, out to eat. and get real food because my tum-tum was turned a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Too old to eat con food.
Yeah, I think so. Let's talk about the main thing that was the most troublesome for us.
Yeah.
Accessibility.
So, for those of you who follow us on Twitter, you probably saw a little bit of this a few weeks back. I had issues getting information regarding accessibility beforehand at the con. There wasn't anything on the website, and I wasn't getting any responses to my email inquiries, and I wasn't able to get any answers until literally the week before the con.
Right.
And since I was going to be going in a wheelchair, there were things that I needed to know beforehand.
And that's one of the reasons we only got the Sunday pass too, because by the time we had any information on accessibility, and even after we bought the Sunday pass, we still had issues trying to figure out some additional things.
Yeah.
It was such a struggle to get information before attending with her being in a wheelchair.
Yeah, so that was extremely frustrating, and there was obviously a lack of communication between the Crunchyroll staff and the people who were working to do the accessibility stuff for the con. Things did get eventually figured out. I did eventually get contacted by some people who apologized for it, but the fact of the matter is that when you're doing a con like this, when you're trying to go to a con like this is information that people with a multitude of disabilities are going to need to know far, far, far in advance. And we were, I guess, lucky because we, weren't coming from far away. We didn't have to buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
We didn't have to reserve a hotel way in advance. So we could decide at the last second whether or not we were going to go or not. But that is not the case for a lot of people, which is why it's just so important to have that information out there far beforehand.
Yeah.
And I've never had that type of issue with an event or a con before, so it was both surprising and frustrating.
Yeah. We did as much as we could to, mitigate the roadblocks we kind of thought we might have. We got there super early.
Yeah.
To make sure that we weren't, standing in line. We got our badges. We got our accessibility wristband. But it was hard. They didn't have very good directions for how to get to an accessibility entrance.
Yeah. That was weird because the accessibility entrance was literally on the other side of the convention center from where check-in was. And so we started following the signs to the accessibility entrance, but it was a little confusing, and we ended up asking staff members that we ran into, and they tried to direct us back to the main entrance instead of the accessible entrance.
Yeah, so we got a little bit lost, and we were like, okay, they want us to go back the way we came, but the sign's asking us to go this way. So we just kind of walked around the entire building until we found it.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked, to be honest, because if they had been clear about where the accessibility entrance was to begin with, then we wouldn't have had to walk around the entire convention center to find it.
And then there was the issue with the accessible entrance not being accessible, really.
Yeah. Almost none of the doors were accessible at all.
None of them were.
The only door that I noticed that was accessible was the one that went from the garage into the building.
Which we couldn't take.
Because that's not where the entrance was.
No, that was the entrance for staff.
Yeah, all of the doors from the outside were all just regular doors. There were no buttons, and I had to back her through the door.
And they were
try
heavy.
to open it. They were gigantic.
Yeah,
so that was kind of frustrating, and I think that's more of a thing that it's an older building, and they aren't doing a good job with accessibility there.
Yeah. But, they could have propped it open. They could have had somebody there directing people. But the fact of the matter is if I were by myself in a wheelchair, I would not have been able to go through that door.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I was really lucky to have my sister there. But once again, not everyone is going to have a sister.
Yeah, a lot of the doorways were pretty narrow, hard to get the wheelchair through. The bathrooms as well, very few accessible bathrooms.
Yeah.
Super narrow.
Like, the bathrooms themselves were technically accessible, but once again, the doors were not automatic. Everything was, as you said, really narrow. It was really hard for me to navigate. And it was just, it was frustrating. It was a little frustration that every time I had to go to the bathroom, I had to really, like, finagle my way in and out more so than I normally would have to in my wheelchair.
Yeah. The one nice thing I noticed is that the sinks were the right height.
Yeah.
And allowed you to kind of like
I
put
could
the
wash my
wheelchair
hands
underneath. Because a lot of sinks, you don't think about that, but a lot of sinks are not wheelchair accessible in that way. So you were able to like roll right underneath it and wash your hands right in front of it and go. So that was kind of cool. But I don't know. This place had a problem with their doorways and accessibility.
Yeah.
I will say that.
And there were things that could have been done to make it easier that weren't, and that was a little bit frustrating. So, and you know, like we said, some of it is due to the building being old, but there are ways around that.
So let's talk about our overall thoughts. Would we go again?
So I think I would go again, but I would want to split it into 2 days instead of trying to do everything in just one. That was a lot for me. I ended up being on bed rest for the next 2 days.
Yeah, it was a lot.
A little too much excitement for me. I'm not into Hololive, so not a lot of the shows we could see on the day we ended up going were interesting to me. So if we had been able to plan further in ahead, if we had been able to plan further ahead, I think it would have been more fun for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So since we couldn't plan until the last second, I think we missed out on stuff.
Yeah.
I was happy to see a lot of the Spy X Family stuff. I was happy to see our friends. Seeing the cosplayers were really fun. Seeing the artists was really fun. Seeing you play those games were really fun.
She took videos of me playing these games too. I'm so embarrassed.
What about you?
I agree. I would go again, but I would need to have some more incentive. I think, like you said, in terms of accessibility, I'd need to know that information. Being your partner, being your person,
you're my pushing person.
I have to know as well. It's not just for you, but for me. And yeah, I think if we were to go again, I would want to have things that I was more interested in, because I don't really follow any of the current popular anime. There wasn't anything that was super relevant for me or super like, oh, that's super exciting because I'm into that.
Well, maybe my significant other can recommend you some of the new anime that he thinks you would like, because he knows all the new stuff.
That's right. He watches all the new stuff.
Why didn't he go with us? Oh, I know why. He was too busy. I remember why he didn't go with us. He would have had a grand old time.
Yes, my husband also would have had a grand
old
time.
Why didn't they go?
I didn't want my husband to spend too much money on merch.
Oh,
that's why.
Okay, yes. Understandable.
He likes to buy things. Also, I think I'd plan for a different day, because in this case, I didn't really look at the event schedule beforehand, because we didn't even know we were going to attend until that week. So I would spend more time trying to figure out what events I wanted to see and plan the day accordingly. Also, to be honest, as an Otome fan, the place didn't really do it for me. Like, they didn't really have any Otome stuff except for the 2 prints we saw of Saito and Harada in the merch section.
From Hakuoki. They were really random. They were with a bunch of, like, all of these other popular anime prints, and then there was, like, one of Saito's face. On the other side, it was, like, one of shirtless Harada. Their official merch, and we were like, why are these here? I was actually really tempted to get the Harada one, but I think it was, like, $60.
Yeah, it was crazy. Another thing that really bothered me was the fact that it's so, like, the convention merch is so geared towards men.
Yeah.
That's one thing that really bothers me as well.
True.
Like, as a female fan, not just an Otome fan, but, like, as a female person interested in anime, manga, and gaming, like, you walk by and you can tell that things are very male-oriented.
Yeah.
Like, there was a whole section with, like, a bunch of cars and, like, those, like, age, like, those faces on them. And then, like, all of the porny section had, like, stuff.
The porny section was
just for men.
For dudes. It's like, we read a decent amount of
Yeah, well, like we play eroge. You all know that. Like,
yeah, we play eroge. We read like a bunch of the manga that
manga
is
doujinshi.
geared towards women.
So it was really sad that there was none of that there, and I don't know. I feel like they need to do a better job of representing like what women would also be interested in. That was one thing that kind of made me sad. So I think, like I said, I would definitely go again, but I would need to have some more incentive.
Yeah, and we'd need to be able to plan further ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we want to talk about today. We didn't really talk about Otome stuff, but thank you for joining us on our Otome Shimai short.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This episode is about the same length as like our first 6 episodes.
That's right.
When we were only doing 20 minutes and now we're doing like an hour. How did that happen? I don't know. We just like talking.
That's likely true. As always, if you like what you hear and would like to support us, we have a Ko-fi account where you can donate to us keeping the podcast going.
We also have Twitter and Instagram where you can stay updated on what we're up to and other Otome-related stuff.
We also stream on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays, plus the occasional Wednesday when Vicky makes the shirts fall off.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Bye!